Awesome.
Okay, we're going to go live over here. So hello, everyone. We are live currently on Facebook and on YouTube. I might need to fix my YouTube camera, though, just really quick. There, let's see if that helps a little bit. Sorry, Jay, your face is going to be, well, you're there. You're in the corner. Okay. Okay, great.
That's the best outlook.
Hello, everyone. Tony, I'm sorry. I might have to move back every now and then. Don't worry about it. I feel like you're not that great in the shot. But this is ARMBAR Live. This is our weekly episodic podcast and radio show that we do every week on Facebook. And every now and then we'll post it on YouTube as well. So if you follow our YouTube channel, search the hashtag ARMBAR KCYP 97.7. Okay, so right now again we're just kind of setting up. Everyone's here minus the architect, which is Isaac Luis, who finished a great semester at school. So hopefully he aced all his classes. Big shout out to you, Isaac, really quick. This pre-show, so you can do that.
Isaac, we miss you, sir.
That's fine. So we are we are live on Facebook, and we are live on YouTube as well. So I'm going to post the link for YouTube if for those of you guys that are at home on your computers that would prefer to watch this on their computer. For everyone else that's watching on Facebook,
or smartphone, or smart TV.
Technically, you can watch on your smartphone also via if you have the YouTube app. If you get notified and you subscribe to us, you can definitely follow us. Let me share that link right now on the Facebook page really quick so that we can get that taken care of, and hopefully we can go from there. So everyone that's watching, if you guys would please share this video, that way we can get a decent amount of viewers for tonight. That would help us out a lot.
I shared it on my page already.
Be interactive with us. I'm going to try to read off the comments.
Who's joined already on there?
Right now, I think it's just
John David.
What's up, John David? I think that's JD. What's
How's
up,
it going?
JD? How's it going?
Welcome to the show.
Let's talk about wrestling, bro. Okay, well, I'm like typing John's name on my laptop. Okay, hold on. So anything else you guys want to add while I'm doing this? Go ahead and.
Well, we got a great weekend coming up with Ring of Honor and New Japan's War of the Worlds pay-per-view taking place at the historic Hammerstein Ballroom. Tomorrow night, live on pay-per-view, as well as UFC 211, two great championship title fights in the main events, which is always a plus, one in the heavyweight division and one in the women's strawweight division. Those two I'll get into later on. Some other big news in the world of MMA and in wrestling as well that we'll also talk about. And then we'll also do a little hype on on WWE's pay-per-views next week, including Backlash, which will be a SmackDown themed pay-per-view next Sunday, as well as NXT TakeOver Chicago happening also next Saturday night. And just so much more. We might even talk about some other promotions somewhere along the way in this crazy 1 hour, that's 60 minutes, of course, that we'll be presenting you with ARMBAR Radio today.
Jay, don't you find it very ironic on NXT TakeOver in Chicago with Hideo Itami versus Bobby Roode? They're going to be in Chicago. Doesn't that kind of seem kind of ironic? His finisher maneuver is the GTS. But he is the inventor of the GTS.
Hideo Itami invented the go to sleep, which was voted 2 years in a row by the Wrestling Observer in 2006 and in 2007 as the best finisher.
Well, hey, we might get some CM Punk chants, even though some of the wrestling fans again out there don't know that is Itami's creative move. Okay, not CM Punk's. Okay.
With all respect to CM Punk, while he popularized it here in the United States, it was Itami that created the finisher in Japan.
So we already got 8 viewers on.
We got even Jeremy making it happen. Ramos has joined. Chris Martinez joined. The Orta sisters joined. Wow, is it Jonathan? Is that Christopher Contreras?
I got Ray. Yeah, it's
Ray Ramirez.
So what's up, fellas?
What's going on, guys?
Please share our video, and we're gonna get started here in just a few seconds. Okay, so who's starting the show off today, guys? Anyway.
Well, how about this? We'll do it right now.
You'll do it right now.
I'll do it right now.
Okay. Okay, so let me know. I'm gonna give you the quick 3, 2, 1, and then we'll get going.
Did you already put the link for the for ARMBAR?
ARMBAR for
the
YouTube is there already. Okay. Yes, it's already on Facebook.
So you want to send it to those that do not use Facebook?
I know when you're ready, Tony. Wait, hold on. Okay, I think it's ready. Okay.
All right.
I know when you're ready. Okay.
Oh, wait, one second.
Give me a countdown.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome, and once again, May 11th, 2017, another episode of ARMBAR. Everybody, My name is Tony the Machine Matuk. My esteemed colleague, Michael the Biz Bossadua. Glorious! And we got Mr. WrestlePedia himself, the brain of wrestling news and many talents. This is the man of the hour as well. And every time if I need some knowledge, I go to Jay. Because sometimes I make a few mistakes here and there, and this is the guy that rectifies it for me. Am I right?
I try to correct your errors every once in a while.
And you know what? I'm happy because I just want to make just a correction, by the way, on my part. Eddie Guerrero was a 2-time Intercontinental Champion. I totally forgot that. He defeated China, and he also defeated Rob Van Dam in 2002. So I just want to let RJ Rendieta remember that, because I think we were talking about that last time.
And for those of you guys listening on 97.7 FM The City, which should be airing hopefully within a week, Tony is correcting himself because he had a Facebook Live feed this past week, and I don't know if you want to explain to that really quick what happened.
Okay, what happened was I was doing a Facebook Live feed. I've been doing it like 3 times this week, and we're talking about the Intercontinental Championship, how the title is becoming very prestigious, and we're listing some famous superstars, legends, Hall of Famers that held the Intercontinental Championship, and I believe Cisco was talking about him being the Intercontinental, and I was unsure if he was or not, and I didn't think he was. And RJ and I were thinking, I don't think he ever won it, but I ended up finding out that Mr. WrestlePedia himself told me that it was true that he was a 2-time Intercontinental Champion. So, a couple facts I accidentally laid out. I misquoted myself a couple times. Forgive me. I am only human. But I like to share the universe with everybody. Whoever has anything to say about anything with wrestling, just let me know. I like to learn from everybody.
And it's not just pro wrestling we cover here on Armbar. We also cover mixed martial arts, which in many ways has similar aspects as that of pro wrestling in terms of, pay-per-view and audience record crowds and the big fight atmosphere that you can experience, whether it be in the main event of a UFC event or the main event of a WWE event. We try to cover as best as we can every aspect of pro wrestling, not just the WWE, but also New Japan, Ring of Honor, even some of the local and indie promotions, like, for example, in Laredo, the Laredo Wrestling Alliance, which they're doing red hot in Laredo as well. And also when it comes to mixed martial arts, the UFC, the #1 company in mixed martial arts, as well as Bellator, World Series of Fighting, even, here in the Valley, I don't know if you guys knew this or may have not remembered about this one. We have our own mixed martial arts company here. That's the South Texas Fight Club, in which they're going to be soon doing a show at the McAllen Convention Center, which was the home of the Comic-Con. Something you guys know a little bit something about? Yeah.
Yes,
know
sir.
something about that. Yes.
But yeah,
weeks ago.
But yeah, it's
already.
It's going to be a great show. It's been a couple of weeks. In the words of a famous rock band, it's been a while. So
we're listening to ourselves, fellas.
Mike, are you at it again? Listening to?
I am always at it. Okay, so let's get the show started.
If he's not disagreeing with me, he's listening to himself.
So again, for those of you who don't listen to us, Jay just mentioned that we do talk about MMA, but of course our main focus is wrestling. Okay, whether it be WWE, Ring of Honor, Jay's favorite promotion, Impact Wrestling. Just kidding, that was a joke. Some of the local wrestling, which we might get into later on.
I wasn't pointing at Tony. I was doing this.
I think you're like.
So again, for those of you watching on Facebook Live, this show does air on 97.7 FM KCYP LP, which is a local radio station that is down here in the Mission, McAllen, and Edinburgh area. And for those of you, I just want to give a shout out to KCYP and let's give them some love, because they are going through some hard times right now, and they are actually looking for sponsors for the station. Because they do run a youth program weekly, twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays, where they teach young children how to become broadcasters. Okay, so me and the guys, we've been doing this for a while, but KCYP gave us the opportunity to go in and shoot the show there for about a year, and we've kind of spread our wings a little bit. We still do the show for them, but of course we record it here. But again, If anyone knows anyone that owns a business or would like to donate to KCYP, I can give you information. So please get a hold of me or just comment below. And if you own a business yourself, if you want your business to be known and you want cheap, advertising spots, you can get it there at their station. Okay.
And us.
Yes, and us. So talk to me, Tony, or if you know Jay over here. We'll go from there, and of course, we'll try to get your name out there on the station. And
Same thing if you know Isaac as well.
Get local plugs as well. So let's move on from that. Okay, so let's talk about SmackDown. Okay, we're gonna skip Raw for this week, and Raw's been kind of on a decline ever since the shakeup. Ever since Y2J left the show, I think that Raw kind of has declined. And same thing. You can also say the same thing for SmackDown, but at the same time, we still like to think of SmackDown as the H show, right, Jay?
Yes, sir.
Exactly, man.
So we want to talk a little bit about feuds that are going into Backlash, okay? So I don't want to, there was, SmackDown was in London this past week, and so was Raw. And they were they live or were they pre-recorded?
Well, it was live in the United Kingdom, but it's on a tape delay here in the United States.
Yeah, so of course we get the playback in. When they go overseas, you don't really get the same kind of crowd reaction that you do here in the States. A lot of the times their crowds are actually better than they are over here on this on this side of the spectrum. So, for people that are big fans of London, I've never been to England myself, but there's a lot of wrestling history that goes over there. Oh, yeah. We've had a lot of famous wrestlers come from there. The British Bulldog, William Regal. Who else, Tony?
Wade Barrett.
Wade Barrett, also former 4 or 5 time Intercontinental champion.
I believe he was a. How many times?
5 times Intercontinental champion, King of the Ring in 2015.
Yeah, the last King of the Ring.
SummerSlam 1992 at the Wembley
Stadium.
It was Bret the Hitman Hart versus British Bulldog. And in honor, British Bulldog defeated Bret Hart with a nice pin, and he became the Intercontinental Championship. And you know what? I feel like this year, this month, even though that Brock Lesnar has been out, and, I feel like Dean Ambrose is really making the Intercontinental Championship, is worthwhile. I mean, I'm actually excited sometimes, usually, and I do like the Miz and I do like the Miz and Dean Ambrose rivalry. I feel like there's some more unfinished business, and we need more rivalries like this.
Ultimately, you're right. You're right, because the Universal Championship is going to be MIA for who knows how long. But the Intercontinental Championship, since it has a little bit more seniority than the Universal Championship, that should be the #1 top priority title on Monday Night Raw.
Talk about seniority. Intercontinental title has way more seniority over the Universal Championship.
And in many ways, a lot more prestige.
A lot more prestige. But okay, so let's go back to SmackDown really quick. So I want to get into feuds that are leading up into Backlash. So we have KO, and who is the #1 contender for KO's United States Championship?
AJ Styles.
The place that built this place.
The face that runs the place, excuse me.
Well, you also guys don't know who AJ Styles is.
The way
SmackDown Live is the house that AJ Styles built.
Exactly. So so on SmackDown, we didn't really see much between the feud between them. It was more of like, let's make this a 6-man tag match with all the main guys that are feuding, which in my opinion is, it shouldn't be going on. You have a pay-per-view that's 2 weeks away, and it's a little upsetting to me because you should have the 2 guys that are feuding for that title to cut some good promos. I mean, and this is what I hate about SmackDown being a 2-hour show, because they have so much talent, guys. And the fact that, they have to use all their, those 6 guys that were in that, 6-man tag match or whatever, and put them together in a match that's really doesn't mean anything. The match meant nothing.
Well, to be honest with you, and this is where I'm going to disagree, and you'll see that a lot on ARMBAR.
Okay,
folks. Me and Mike disagree with one
another. Hey.
Ultimately, it helps promote all 3 matches in one. Why ultimately break it down into several segments when you can put it into one giant segment, especially with that being your main event, and with all 3 matches being the main course of what will be SmackDown's Backlash pay-per-view. It's best to give the fans a little bit of a preview of that.
One thing I did like about that match was that Jinder Mahal got a clean cover on Randy Orton. Okay,
so I'm actually starting to like that Cobra Clutch.
That's like a what is it? A Cobra Clutch
slam, right? And him being the Maharaja or whatever he calls it. I believe that's considered like the Messiah in India, like the chosen one, the Sultan. And I feel like it's like a similar storyline to Muhammad Hassan, but I feel like he's really he's really embracing it really well. And I actually want to see this match, and I want to see the titles change. I feel like this guy really needs a good title run.
Yeah.
Because he's been with the WWE for, what, 7-8 years?
Off and on
Off and
about
on.
6 years.
Yeah.
He did leave in 2014, but returned in 2016. Even wrestled here in McAllen, about a couple of years back to Jinder Mahal. But he's gotten himself in extremely good shape. But do I see him beating Randy Orton for the WWE title at Backlash? Honestly, no.
No, not at all.
I will have to stay with. I'm an Orton guy through and through, so I'm going to say Randy Orton's going to retain. But it's a good way to help build Jinder Mahal for not just the title feud with Orton, but perhaps other rivalries down the line. Now, most likely what will end up happening since Sami Zayn and Baron Corbin were part of that six-man tag, it would not surprise me if we end up seeing that match happening at Backlash with Sami Zayn and Baron Corbin, who I don't think crossed paths during their time in NXT, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't recall,
I don't recall
but
either.
yeah, I think Sami Zayn was gone before Baron Corbin started really getting like a lot of.
No, they both came up at the same time.
Yeah, but they never really feuded. Or anything
exactly.
Like that. So that's a good point, though. I mean, and to be honest, does anyone really care about Sami Zayn versus Baron Corbin, though?
I do.
Really? Okay.
I feel like it does plant a seed for a future title opportunity, whether it's an Intercontinental, whether it's a U.S. Championship or a WWE championship.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably lean more towards a mid-card championship because I feel like Sami Zayn is overdue for a championship run. He's never won a championship.
Since he's been on the main roster.
Yeah, I think he was an NXT champion.
Like 2 months.
He was, but unfortunately, you're right. He was only 2 months as NXT champion.
And I feel like that, SmackDown is an opportunity to gain some WWE gold because Raw, I feel like they overlooked him so many times. He's put so much talent over, and I feel
especially Braun Strowman.
Especially Braun Strowman. I mean,
more than once.
More than once, and I feel like this is a great title opportunity for Sami Zayn. I know Baron Corbin deserves it, but Baron Corbin kind of has something underneath his belt. He's also a 2016 or 2015 Andre the Giant Battle Memorial.
2016,
yes, because 2015 was Big Show. So I do want to see a rivalry with these two and maybe build up a future mid-card title run.
And I think ultimately what will steal the show at Backlash, well, 2 matches in particular, but going back to the 6-man tag, one that'll ultimately steal the show, Kevin Owens against AJ Styles for the United States Championship. And I'm glad that the WWE decided, hey, let's embrace AJ Styles as a good guy, because ultimately the fans never stopped cheering for him, even when he had turned against the fans during his run with the club against John Cena, and then later on his other rivalries with the likes of Dean Ambrose and also SmackDown GM Shane McMahon. Yeah. But ultimately, do I see Styles winning the U.S. title? It's great. It's wishful thinking, but with Kevin Owens, never say never. But ultimately, that was a great 6-man tag this past Tuesday night on SmackDown Live. But also, it's finally official. We knew of Shinsuke Nakamura wrestling at Backlash in his first WWE in-ring match on pay-per-view. But against Dolph Ziggler, it's been teased for weeks, but now it's confirmed. My thoughts on Ziggler's the perfect opponent for Nakamura's premiere on a WWE pay-per-view. Wanted to get your take on it, guys. Do you feel Ziggler's the right opponent, or did you have somebody else in mind for Nakamura's in-ring pay-per-view debut?
Sorry, Tony, I'm gonna step in really quick because
I want to hear this actually.
Okay, so first of all, I'm a little upset about this for a couple of reasons. Not because Ziggler is his opponent. I have no qualms with Ziggler being his opponent. Although I don't think WWE is using Ziggler for what they should be using him. The guy has it all, and he can do it all in the ring. So I have a lot of respect for Dolph Ziggler, former 2-time world champion, multiple-time Intercontinental champion. He's done a lot in the business, and people don't give him enough credit. But one thing that's frustrating about me is Shinsuke Nakamura, the artist, known as Shinsuke Nakamura. It's really frustrating to me because, when he was in NXT, he was he's a big thing. People know who he is, and even before then, he was already a star on the other side of the world. So for him to come over and, basically roll this side of the territory is great in my opinion. But at the same time, I do not like how WWE is building his character or building his gimmick. And one reason why, I like his flashiness and everything like that, but I hate how they're building it up. Like, he's on SmackDown. He's been on SmackDown for about a month already, guys. And we've only seen a couple of ring appearances. We've seen vignettes about him. But really, does WWE have to introduce him this way into like the main roster? It's really upsetting to me because I'm upset because I've already wanted to see several matches from him and I haven't gotten nothing. So we have to wait until Backlash, which is a pay-per-view, which is of course on the WWE Network. For how much, guys?
$9.99.
Right.
Or
free if you guys are new subscribers. But anyway, we have a couple people watching. Alexander Sanchez, how's it going? We had a decent amount of views right now. It's going up and down.
A lot of questions. I think
Facebook
Jeremy
Live
said
feed.
something. I'm going to get right back to
Yeah,
you
we'll get
later
back
on,
to you.
Jeremy.
Corey from Michigan, he just texted me. He's watching as well.
Okay.
Same
Again,
thing, George Silva. Thank you.
thank you guys for watching. But again, it's upsetting to me because I don't like what they're doing. I feel like they're overhyping his character just a little bit. And not to say that his character isn't hyped. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what does WWE have against putting him in a match on SmackDown? Put him up against a jobber or somebody, someone who's going to lose to him, okay? I mean, they did that for Braun Strowman week in, week out, and we saw it happen. I mean, honestly, we've seen, what's-his-face, James Ellsworth, get more in-ring matches than Shinsuke Nakamura has on SmackDown, okay? And, now he's, what's-his-face's bodyguard, Carmella's bodyguard. What's his face? What's her face?
Yeah, her face.
What's her face? But I'm upset about it, and WWE needs to do something about that. I know he's a special attraction. Okay, we know this. You've seen him in like almost 5-star matches with Sami Zayn. Had a great rivalry with Samoa Joe, etc. like that. But just put him in the ring already. You don't.
And
need to wait.
they are. They're going to do it at Backlash because honestly, when you have an attraction like Nakamura, you don't want to give it away for free on television.
But I don't want to be upset. I don't want them to overhype the match and then the match be horrible. Okay, that's what I'm trying to go with.
I understand that, but ultimately, when you got talent like Nakamura and you got Ziggler, it's bound to be a show-stealing matchup coming up at Backlash.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you got to save those special attractions for nights like Backlash.
Got Jim Justice and RJ that joined the show. Welcome, guys.
What's up, RJ?
Thanks for joining.
Just to let you know, Eddie Guerrero was a 2-time Intercontinental Champion. Just want to let you know, 2-time.
And what were the years he won the title?
Okay, back, I believe he faced China. He defeated China. I think that was in 2000?
Yeah.
2000. It was a.
And then he defeated Rob Van Dam in 2002.
And it happened at what pay-per-view in 2002?
Backlash?
Exactly. I was about to get ready to tell you.
That was actually an answer in a question.
I was about to drop a hint, like I'll give you a hint. It's the pay-per-view we just got to talking about.
Yeah. I just want to let you know, though, I mean, I'm learning as much as I can. I mean, I know I've probably seen these matches a while back, and I know I forget. I mean, we're all humans. But it's good to be reminded every now and then.
It happens.
Yeah.
All right. So, what were your thoughts on Shinsuke versus Dolph Ziggler?
I don't like the build-up either. I think that he needs to be in the matches every week in, week out, since he's been supposed to be in action for a month that he's been in SmackDown. My wife keeps saying, I can't wait to see Shinsuke Nakamura. Can't wait. She said, how come he never gets booked in the match? And I agree with you, Mike, because why do you think most of these fans pay to see, besides, no disrespect to AJ Styles, because I am a big AJ Styles fan, they want to also see strong style. And WWE needs to put him with some jobbers, like you said. And I don't care if it's James Ellsworth. I don't care if it's...
I'd love that.
Gilbert.
Gilbert,
or I don't... honestly, he needs to be pushed. And, okay, the opponent choice, I mean, it's okay. I mean, Dolph Ziggler, great talent. I feel like he should have left WWE maybe about a year ago, go to Japan or CMLL, get some more experience, get some more exposure, and then come back. Just like, the way Drew McIntyre did that when he was going to ICW and other promotions, like the Hardy Boys. They get some experience, some more, get their feet wet. I feel like that's what Dolph Ziggler needs. But I guess this is like a push to boost up his career when he faces strong style Shinsuke Nakamura. Personally, I'd rather see him face like Randy Orton. I feel like Randy Orton would be a great choice. You got the Viper, you got strong style, 2 innovative stars, or AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura. We've seen it in Japan. Why don't we see it in the good old US of A?
Well, it may just happen. I mean,
Yeah,
if Nakamura versus Styles was to happen in WWE, it would be a first to see a main event or a semi-main event match at Wrestle Kingdom, but to see a main event match at WrestleMania between those two. And if I'm not mistaken, aren't those two on the same roster on SmackDown?
That is true.
And another match I'd like to see with Nakamura down the road, just to end this particular topic, Nakamura versus John Cena. I think that match would do a lot of wonders. But ultimately, let's get to Nakamura and Ziggler first. Let's see how that delivers next Sunday in Chicago for Backlash.
Hope it doesn't disappoint. That's all I'm asking.
The King of Strong Style against the Show Up. And as far as the artist gimmick, it suits him. He's an artist in the ring. And he's going to be painting a masterpiece with Dolph Ziggler coming up next Sunday.
You know what I did like about, just a quick finish on this one? That they both have good, they have martial arts backgrounds. I mean, you got to admit, he is a striker. Shinsuke Nakamura is a striker. He has an MMA background.
Yeah.
You got also Dolph Ziggler. He is a Penn State Hall of Famer. He's got an amateur wrestling background. I saw some grappling. I saw a couple double leg takedowns. I saw some strikes going on with Shinsuke Nakamura. It should be an interesting fight. I mean, you got strong style versus some amateur wrestling from Penn State. So I kind of am looking forward to seeing this match, but at the same time, I feel like there needs to be more of a bold push on him and having him wrestle like Mojo Riley or any other guy that's trying to get their push.
All right, we got a big compliment by Danny Digits. I think that's his last name. What's up, Danny? So thank you for tuning in. So thanks, Tony, for that comment. I'm going to go on and let's talk about the women's division now. First of all, I want to talk about how the women's title isn't even being defended at Backlash.
I don't like it one bit.
I don't like it one bit, but I don't know what's going on with the whole Natalia and what's her group called?
The Welcoming Committee.
The Welcoming Committee. I was going to call it the Breakfast Club. I don't know why. But the Welcoming Committee, okay?
Well, they have their share of misfits, too, in the Breakfast Club.
Yeah. Yeah, so, there you go. So you have the Welcoming Committee, which is, Natalia, Carmella, and Tamina, who just recently returned.
And James Ellsworth.
James Ellsworth, you can't count him, but, he's always going to be that contributing factor because he can, be that guy that holds one person's foot in the rope, and that could be the deciding factor of the match.
Or be the ugliest diva on the roster.
James Ellsworth is lucky to still have a job with WWE, and a good, he's an example of what that anyone can make it in this business. Okay, I hate to say it.
I got to meet James Ellsworth. He's a cool guy. I met him at the last SmackDown Live event. So
yes, Jay has a picture that he'll show you guys on his Facebook.
He's going to be giving some no-chin aggression.
No chin aggression. So again, they're teaming up they're teaming up against Naomi, who is the current SmackDown
Women's Champion.
Women's Champion. That's going to be a hard term to get out of my vocabulary eventually.
It's been well over a year. Come on.
It's been a year, but okay. Yeah, you're right. Well over a year. Who else we got? We got Charlotte, former 4-time women's champion in her own right.
The final Divas champion.
The final, yeah, exactly right. And then who else? We got one
Becky
more.
Lynch.
Becky Lynch.
First SmackDown's women's champion.
The Irish last kicker.
And the best friend of Charlotte, okay? So, I don't know.
I don't like it one bit. I don't like the way they're pushing Charlotte now as a face now. I don't like it. I feel like she should stay a heel. But I feel like I see still of a heel persona.
Well, we just got to wait and see what happens. Again,
Hey, there is, but you know what? You saw her throw her hand in on SmackDown when they were throwing.
Hesitant, wasn't she?
She is, but
you know what? She just spent 2 years as a bad girl. So come on now, she's a flair,
okay?
Yeah.
And the thing about this is she could be either the biggest face or the biggest heel in the company, okay? So we have to look at it like that, okay? When she was in NXT, she was more a face at times, and people that are watching her for the past couple of years on the main roster, she has played that heel, having people
done it very well.
Very well, yes, making her daddy cry on live television.
Yeah.
And
trying to forget that.
Having some of the best matches, that we've seen in women's division history, so it's a big honor.
But how will that translate now that she's on SmackDown Live?
Exactly.
With the current crop of divas, or women's wrestlers, excuse me.
I mean,
now you got me saying it, Mike.
If you think about it, it's like she has to flip the switch because it's a whole new ballpark. It's a whole another arena that she's wrestling in. If you think about it, going from Raw to SmackDown, I hate to say it, but it's like you're kind of rejuvenating your career a little bit.
It takes me back remember when Booker T and Goldust separated.
Oh
when
man,
Booker T went to SmackDown.
Yeah,
and Goldust stayed on Raw, and Booker T turned heel and then became King Booker.
King Booker.
I do remember that, except that wasn't Goldust. Goldust has gone from WWE at that point. It was Rob Van Dam.
Oh, that's right.
Because the night of the 2004 draft, they lost the World Tag Team titles to Ric Flair and Batista.
That is true. That is true. But yeah, he did jump to heel on SmackDown.
When he got traded over to SmackDown.
Yeah.
But hey, he had a great run at Booker T on SmackDown. But let's see how Charlotte and the rest of the superstars that came from Raw to SmackDown, how they pan out on Tuesday nights, on the Blue Brand, on the A Show, you know. And other than that, we also got the SmackDown Tag Team titles at stake. The Usos, I almost said the Uggos. The Usos against, are they Breezango, the Fashion Police? What are they?
They're called the Fashion Police.
I'll go with Breezango.
I like the vignettes, you know.
They're hilarious.
Like SVU.
Yeah, they're trying to copy Law and Order over here.
I kind of like it. It's pretty funny. But corny.
Well, you know what's cool about that? They're on the USA Network, so they can copy that because it's on their network, so they can copy anything that they throw out. Okay, so I don't know.
I think I'm gonna get a citation from them right now the way I'm dressed.
Probably will.
Yeah.
But I personally, I'm a fan of Breezango. I mean, I wasn't the big fan of the whole when they were trying to put together Goldust and Fandango. And then R-Truth and Tyler Breeze, once they got it together, the Golden Truth, which they're on Raw, which we see what it is. Yeah. And yet Breezango, they're just so entertaining that I'm glad that finally they're getting, you know, their just rewards, which is one of the main reasons why SmackDown is called the Land of Opportunity.
I appreciate that, and that's why we're talking about SmackDown today and not Raw.
Styles mentioned. That's what he mentioned on SmackDown, talking Smack. He actually mentioned about that, like SmackDown creates opportunity.
Raw takes opportunity.
And Raw takes opportunity.
Yeah, he said it, and it's true. And by the way, since we're talking about talking smack, since Daniel Bryan has been MIA from television for the past couple weeks, it's because he is a new father, okay? So congrats to Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson. Father, what's the name again? Bernie Joe Danielson. So naming her after the one of the president's wives, I think, right? I think there was a Bertie Joe Johnson.
Yes, it was. It was.
There's actually a lake in Austin named after Bertie Joe.
Congratulations to Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella on the birth of a healthy, beautiful baby girl.
We'll see him hopefully soon, hopefully maybe just as a GM. Okay.
Yep.
Maybe we'll talk about that on Dirt Sheets a little later, okay? So keep listening, okay? So just to, interrupt you guys, I'm sorry, okay? This is, part of the, recording on KCYP, obviously.
Are we going to call them?
We're not going to call the letters just yet. I do want to mention a few ways to listen to us. So if you guys are still watching us live, we got about 10 viewers on Facebook. We have a few viewers on YouTube, so thanks. Basically, there's a few ways to kind of keep up to date with us, okay? Again, if you're watching us on Facebook Live right now, thank you for watching us. If you're listening to us on 97.7 FM The City, continue to listen to the station and continue to hopefully listen to us on there while you're driving to work or when you're going to school in the morning or at nighttime, whenever they're airing us, okay? Usually our show airs at 9 o'clock on Thursday evenings, but they will re-air the show throughout the weekend. So if you guys are driving and you guys are, changing your radio station, put it on 97.7 KCYP LP, The City, okay? Also, you can also listen to us on The City 977.com. So again, The City 977.com. They will play our show on that website. And of course, if you have the TuneIn Radio app, you can also listen in on the TuneIn Radio app by downloading the app on iOS or Android. And of course, from there, you're just gonna find the keywords KCYP The City, okay? So please listen in, share our videos, share your stories with us, share your favorite Armbar episodes, comment on our Facebook page. We have a Twitter page as well. So thank you for listening. So okay, we're a couple minutes away. We're about 1 minute away from actually calling those beautiful letters. So last thing that I do want to talk about is probably, do y'all want to get into the world title picture, or we kind of already
did with the 6-man tag.
Okay, so
also a quick shout out to Sam Contreras. Thank you for watching.
Thanks, Sam. Big shout out to you. Miss you, buddy. Already, man. Don't know what happened, but if you guys are listening again, thank you for watching. I guess Tony, since we're here and since you have the key voice to do this. Okay, well, who wants to do the calling of the letters this week? Actually, hold on.
Okay, let me do it.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, let's just do it. We're already about that time. Okay. All right, there you go. Okay. Go ahead, Tony.
KCYP LP Mission McAllen.
All right, we are back, and we have a Fabi saw me watching us live on Facebook. So how's it going? Sister-in-law over here. That's my sister-in-law over here.
Awesome.
So what's up? So again, we're back in the next topic. We got about 30 minutes to clear out the show, and we still have a lot of content to talk about. So next thing I want to talk about is a little bit of NXT and 205 Live, and then the final portion of the show will go to Jay with ROH and New Japan Pro Wrestling, okay? And their respective pay-per-views coming up, along with UFC and
Yes.
the MMA events going on. So I feel like I'm the narrator of KCYP right now, I guess, because the script's right in front of me, right?
Well, I mean, you could be considered the Tom Phillips.
I'm
of
cheating.
online.
Oh, the Tom Phillips.
Well, you're
okay.
no Morgan Freeman.
I would
that's-
prefer Corey Graves, actually, but that's all right. Okay.
If you get some ink, I will definitely call you.
So, NXT Chicago is happening the day before Backlash, right? So let's talk about the feuds that are leading up, some of the main matches, okay? So I want to talk about the women's division first, okay? So we have a triple threat match for the NXT Women's Championship. So Asuka, who is still your champion, playing the heel, obviously. We got not Ember Moon. Ember Moon is MIA, out of action for a little bit. She injured her shoulder, and that's a horrible thing because she is a fan favorite in my opinion. And then, of course, we got, who is it?
Ruby Riott.
Ruby Riott. I was going to say Nikki Riott. I don't know.
It's Ruby Riott and
Ruby
Nikki
Riott.
Cross.
There you go.
Yeah, Ruby Riott. I knew Nikki Cross. I was going to get there. But anyway, so your thoughts on that, fellas, and where it goes from there.
Okay, I don't agree what happened. I mean, the fact that Ember Moon flew into the security railing. I think she hit her shoulder. I think that's what
That's
happened.
what happened, yeah.
And the way William Regal laid it on pretty thick on her. You're going against these two women.
At the
Nikki
time, it
Cross-
was 3.
Yeah. At the time it was 3, and it's Nikki Cross versus what's her name?
Ruby Riott.
Ruby Riott. I don't know why I keep forgetting that. It's like R&R. Anyway, she's
Rock
getting
and roll.
Yeah, she's getting to the point that she's getting very arrogant as of late. No one's ready. No one's ready. No one's ready. Well, there's an old saying. There's always somebody bigger, better, and out there. And who knows? We don't know if this child is going to change. We might see her as the longest women's champion.
But is it arrogance or is it more fear? Because if she wasn't afraid of any of the contenders, then why would she have disrupted the Battle Royal?
Or maybe she's just displaying her dominance.
That could be the case, but to me, if you're that dominant, you wait for the challengers to come to you. You don't attack your competition the way she just did. We could go on.
I kind of like it, to be honest.
You like the heel run on her?
I like Asuka in general. I still think that she is one of the top 2 woman wrestlers in the world right now.
I totally agree.
She has that sadistic look. It takes me back. Have you ever seen the movie called Kickboxer? She has that.
Tampo.
No. That's
You're talking about
that's
with
Kickboxer.
with Jean
I'm talking about Bloodsport.
Oh,
I'm talking about
Bloodsport, yeah.
Bloodsport. She has
Bolo.
that. Yeah, Bolo or Chong Li.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
Well,
has
Bolo,
that-
I remember from Enter the Dragon, but yeah.
She has that Chong
I know Chung Li from
look.
Street Fighter.
And he's like, you are next. I mean, she has that face like she's gonna rip your head off.
I've always said when Asuka, the trademark I gave for Asuka, every time Asuka smiles, yours disappears. And that's been the case every time she's wrestled. And I wanted to see Ember Moon in this match, but it's going to be a few weeks before she's cleared. But this is the chance for Nikki Cross to help establish herself as more than just a member of Sanity, and Ruby Riott, who is still an unknown to a lot of fans in NXT, to help get herself known in that triple threat match. And right now, Asuka is the longest reigning champion right now in wrestling right now, having held the NXT Women's title for well over a year. In fact, the night she beat Ember Moon to retain the title at Orlando, it was her 1-year anniversary of winning the title in Dallas. But ultimately, I don't see the title changing hands, but it's still a good way for
Has
Ruby.
she passed Nikki Bella's title reign?
Way past it.
way past
As
it.
far as
Way past
NXT Women's Championship, yes, she is the longest reigning NXT champion, like out of any champion in
Yeah.
that. I don't know about Nikki Bella. I think it was like close to.
She held the title from November 2014 to
Yeah,
September 2015. So yeah, she way past it.
Okay, just so I want to let you guys know really quick, we do have a viewer on YouTube watching actually, and we have her name's Pamela at WWE Pamela. She actually retweeted on our Twitter page, so I'm glad to know that we have a Twitter fan watching. So thank you, Pamela, if you are watching. So okay, let's go back to that. I don't want the title to change hands. That's my opinion right now.
So you want her to stay?
I want one more little run, and then she can leave gracefully. Hopefully before Survivor Series or SummerSlam, maybe.
Probably SummerSlam.
Probably SummerSlam, but okay. So let's go on from there. Let's talk about the tag division and what's going to happen. So Authors of Pain, AOP, is going to defend their titles against DIY or DIY, right? In
Correct.
a ladder match. And this will be, I think, the first ladder match on NXT for the tag championship.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Correcting myself. Okay. But anyway, thoughts on that, fellas?
Another great way to cement tag team wrestling in NXT.
It's gonna be great. I'm so excited for this match, by the way.
Yeah, this is either going to reestablish DIY as the top tag team, or this is going to ultimately establish Authors of Pain as that one tag team that's going to be immovable through the tag team division at NXT. Tony and I, we enjoyed seeing it live in San Antonio.
Yes.
Authors of Pain defeated DIY for the tag titles, which was very enjoyable. But to see it now in a ladder match in Chicago next Saturday night, and Chicago's very near and dear to, well, the advisor of the Authors of Pain, Precious Paul Ellery. I mean, he led one famous Chicago tag team to glory, and now he's already got another one with the Authors of Pain. But will their reign end in Chi-Town, or will DIY become the second tag team to hold the NXT Tag Team Championship twice?
Who knows? I mean, that would.
Oh, you mean the second tag team?
The
There you go. I
second-
thought you meant the first. I was like, whoa, Jay.
You know, who knows with that one? I mean, DIY. I mean, they might get it. You know, I really want to see, and I feel like they should have been pushed. They didn't even show up on NXT. Heavy Machinery.
I think that one's still a ways to go, but eventually we may see the showdown between Authors of Pain and Heavy Machinery, unless they decide to go with DIY and Heavy Machinery. But I could see two fan favorite tag teams going at it, but I think eventually at some point we may see AOP. And
You know what
Heavy
I've
Machinery.
noticed too, and
that'll be a good match.
not to touch off base, but
Yeah.
there's a tag. The Revival, man. I haven't even seen the Revival lately on Raw.
Dashwaller's been out with a jaw injury. He suffered at a
Okay.
live event, so he won't be back until late June, early July. But
Okay.
the Revival,
That's not too long from now.
No.
though. So, I
Next
mean,
month.
we'll see them, and hopefully they're going to be in the mix versus the Hardys. Hopefully, we'll see.
or against the
Never
Club, Sheamus and Cesaro.
No, I mean, it's up in the air right now. The tag division on Raw is still kind of blurred out a little bit.
I do. Okay,
I know that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, about DIY. I mean, we did witness a title change over there at NXT Takeover in San Antonio.
Yeah.
And having AOP win it, I feel like AOP should get it again. I feel like they should just retain it.
All right.
And I think that
What's going to happen with DIY though?
DIY
Main roster.
should be on the main roster. I feel like I could see SmackDown, them being on SmackDown.
Well, that could be possible now that the Vaudevillains are no longer a tag team on SmackDown.
But remember, the Cruiserweight division's on Raw, and they were part of the Cruiserweight Classic last season.
yeah, you never know. So hopefully, maybe that they could be a start to something. If maybe they start a tag division on, the Cruiserweight and 205 Live. Who knows? I would be excited to see that.
Yeah.
And I've been begging for a tag division for the for 205 Live for a while now.
It's
Come
a
on,
slow
Vince.
build.
Are you listening, Vince? What's going on?
I mean, like I said, New Japan's got a junior heavyweight and a junior heavyweight tag team division.
exactly.
Eventually, especially with the Cruiserweight division in WWE, the more popularity it gets, I would not be surprised if eventually there would be a Cruiserweight tag team
Mhm.
division, as WCW did. Unfortunately, it was during the dying days of WCW.
What about the UK championship?
Yeah, let's talk about the United Kingdom Championship, which is my favorite belt in the entire company.
It's the
Okay?
most beautiful championship. It's like
I want to get one of those replicas one day when they make it. And me and my buddy, I was gonna say Alvaro. No, it's not Alvaro. It's a guy that I met from A&J Belts online. His name is David Alejos Jr. He is a big fan of collecting wrestling belts, and he actually is from down here. And he showed me his collection, and let's just say I'm jealous. What we have is what I have is nothing compared. to
You
what
guys
this
got
guy
the
has.
replica belts.
So anyway, so Tyler Bate versus the Bruiserweight.
Pete Dunne.
Team which I'm a big fan of. I don't know if you guys have paid attention to his
I
matches.
like the way he wrestles.
He's a very physical style wrestler, and he reminds me of a little bit about like a mixture of William Regal and Crispin Wall. I hate to say that, right? But a little bit of a mix of that.
Like I said, he's got a little bit of a scrappy, double-fisted type tough guy mentality as Pete Dunne. I mean, I saw their first match in the finals of the UK tournament. I'm glad that it's now going to be on an even bigger stage with NXT TakeOver Chicago. It helps make the UK title even more prestigious, being defended on such a platform. But ultimately, my thoughts on that is I kind of see Tyler Bate still holding on to the championship, but Pete Dunne.
He's a young guy, by the
Yeah.
way, 19 years
19.
old. Can you believe that?
That's the youngest, actually, the championship out of all of them.
They
youngest WWE champion, technically.
Yeah.
I mean,
not of all
United-
time.
Not of
but
all. Well, I mean, not like. I mean, Randy Orton is the youngest person to hold the
24 years
WWE
age.
Devon
championship.
Grant, yeah, he
But I'm
was
talking
19
about
when he won the tag title.
He is the youngest guy to hold the UK championship since it has been in its infancy.
Since January.
So that's the bar. If you think about it, you're going to see 17-year-old guys winning this title later on. I'm excited to see this match, though. Very excited. And hopefully it's the match that seals the show. We'll see how it goes.
I can see that.
So let's move on really quick. I'm sorry, Tony. We need to get to the
Yeah, let's do
NXT
it,
title
let's
match.
do it.
So the Glorious One versus
Hideo Itami.
Hideo Itami. And he had a great match on NXT this past
Very
week
outstanding.
versus Roderick Strong. I mean, for those of you guys that didn't watch it, go watch NXT. Roderick Strong versus Hideo Itami. It was a great match. Very physical. I mean, it's one of those matches for the books. I mean, if I could rate that on what do you call me again? Mike the Meltzer.
Mike the Meltzer.
Mike the Meltzer. Okay, I would give that 4.5 stars. Okay, right there. Okay.
Very physical, a lot of chops, kicks,
Match
very
told story.
strong style. I mean, no pun intended with Roderick Strong's name, but it was just everything. I mean, I was looking forward to it from the minute it was signed. I would have been with either person challenging Bobby Roode for the title, but Hideo Itami, this is his comeback story. And while we're happy to see him back in NXT, his run in NXT has been plagued by injuries and long absences. Hopefully this time around he can make good on this comeback and become the next NXT champion. And what's up?
Now I'm just looking at the Facebook comments. We got
Mario
Gold Raul Garcia and Mario Garcia watching us.
What's up, Mario?
Thanks for
Mario's
watching
actually on
us.
the Chefs from Cooking Connection.
How's it going, guys?
What's going on, man?
Thanks for watching. We appreciate it. So, okay, so thoughts on who's going to be the retainer or new champion on NXT?
I would love to see this as the comeback story for Itami, but I got to go with Roode on this one. I don't think Roode's ready just yet to let go of the NXT championship. But then again, hey, never say never. We've seen a lot of things happen that we didn't expect.
It would be a great comeback story, and this is in my opinion, okay? In my opinion, if Itami did not have those injuries, during, the past year and a half, 2 years already, he would have been the guy instead of Shinsuke Nakamura that they pushed.
Or Finn Balor.
Or Finn Balor, yeah. But again, he was even there before Finn Balor, no? Or
He
was
got there before
Balor.
Finn, and then he brought Finn into as his tag team
Exactly.
partner
So,
against the Ascension.
Think about it. He could have already been on the main roster, but of
Yeah.
course, due to sideline injuries, unfortunately, he had to take the time off, recover, got injured again. Not to say he's injury prone. I mean, these injuries happen in the business. I hate to say it, but hopefully, I'm expecting a great match. Hopefully, a lot of near falls. Excited, guys.
Yeah.
I'm excited as a fan, and hopefully, I get to watch it. Hopefully, I'm not working. Hopefully, I'm not working, guys.
What does Mario say? I can't see.
Mario says, "Sup, bro?" So
All I can say is Roode's chest may get lit up from Hideo Itami's excessive chops, which he's known to throw.
But
It'll
do you
be
think
exciting.
he'll go to sleep?
If he does, it's going to be a blaze of glory.
All right. Well, do you guys want to maybe get into a little bit of 205 Live before we knock out what Jay has to mention here? Or if not, we can skip it. I don't
I
mind.
didn't see 205 Live, but if
Honestly,
you
I
guys
didn't
want
watch
to
it.
cover it, go right
I
ahead.
did see I saw a little clip. It was actually with Alicia Fox dumping.
Alicia
Fox.
Yes, Alicia Fox dumped.
No, I'm not.
No, I'm darn.
And then Mr.
Again.
Can't Handle This came in and he was talking about his friend, the one that she was dating.
Cedric Alexander. Yeah.
And he's like, well, my mom raised me not to say these bad words, but you know what the answer is. And he just leaves and takes off. 1 second, I think I have a doorbell.
All right. So while Tony's getting that, yes. So again, we had Jack Gallagher, who is pretty famous in London, and since the show is in London, again, and this goes to MMA because he's an MMA fighter as well.
Yeah.
But he is quite the character, and he is a gentleman. Okay, it is
part of his name.
it's part of his gimmick, gentleman Jack Gallagher. I wish I had a British accent, but that's probably as best as it's going to get for everybody. But anyway, so this guy, to me, he's going to be hopefully a cruiserweight champion very soon. I mean, he's had the opportunity several times already, to my knowledge, but I don't know what WWE is doing to hold him back or whatever. I hope to see him hold that purple belt very soon, and I might have to take over the show really quick. So So what's going on? Everyone's leaving me. So anyway, I'm by myself now. So how's it going? So Jack Gallagher, he's in the ring, right? And he invites Austin Aries to come to have, a gentleman's beer with him, right? And they're having their little conversation. Austin Aries says, "I'm more into wine," or "I'm more into taking shots," or girly drinks. I don't know what Austin Aries is into exactly as far as alcoholic beverages going. I'm going to try to keep this as PG as possible. But, it kind of, turned into a brawl. And how did that turn into a brawl? Oh, wait, you didn't watch it.
Didn't watch 205, unfortunately.
Sorry, guys,
That's all right. So Neville interrupted along with his fellow buddy TJP, okay? So if you guys are watching again, Jack Gallagher and Austin Aries were interrupted by Neville, who is the current cruiserweight champion, and of course TJP, who has been giving, I wouldn't say getting a lot of heat, but he's been kind of having an attitude change as of late. Okay?
He's been influenced by Neville, another British great, the current king of the cruiserweights.
My favorite cruiserweight, okay? King Neville. Okay, so anyway, so going from there, it just turned into a brawl, and at the end of it, Austin Aries and Jack Gallagher had the upper hand, which they ended up kicking TJP and Neville out of the ring. I keep blanking out. Sorry about that. But let's go to probably only the only good match on the show, which was Tony Nese and Mustafa Ali, okay? And, I really hate to say it, 205 Live has so much talent, okay? And these guys put on a great match just like Roderick Strong did, just like Tommy did. They put on a great, 15, 20-minute match. It was a lot of near falls, a lot of great bumps that we saw, a lot of high flying, and Mustafa Ali, got the win. He had a clean win versus Tony Nese. And that's all I have to say about that. I don't know. Did you have an opinion on that?
I didn't see that match, so.
Okay,
all I
so
just saw was
the only one that watched 205 Live.
Well,
What's
I
going on?
didn't
Now you know how I feel with how I'll feel with the next segment.
There you go. So anywho, so after that, let's just go to the main event here, which was Asian dude. I'm blanking out versus Brian Kendrick.
Oh, Akira Tozawa.
Akira Tozawa,
That's been
yes.
quite a rivalry on 205.
Yeah, so they had a decent match, and all I'm going to say about it is I didn't really care for it, honestly. I think the storyline is fizzled out.
Did you learn a lesson from this match?
I learned that I don't like how they're using Brian Kendrick. That's my lesson, okay? I don't know.
Lesson number one.
Lesson number one, yeah. And I respect Akira Tozawa as a wrestler. I think the guy, again, all these guys have tremendous talent, but there needs to be a separate title or division or something, because it's a 1-hour show, and the show's after SmackDown, guys. Okay, honestly, this should be the pre-show. This should be the superstars before SmackDown. That way, people don't decide to leave. Luckily, it was in London, so of course, the people want to get paid or they want to get their money's worth. So
they want to pay for what they see.
Yeah, they want to pay for what they see. So again, Brian Kendrick, Akira Tozawa, great talents. I have all the respect in the world for Brian Kendrick, but I don't know. I don't like the storyline. I don't like what's going on with that.
It's dragged on. I mean,
it's dragged on.
I'm guessing, are we going to get to lesson 100 before the final match between Tozawa and Kendrick?
We're on lesson 6 right now, so I don't know. All right, so let's move on. Okay, I'm going to kind of give Jay the floor since, we have a couple of great events leading up to the weekend. So let's go ahead and go with that.
Near and dear to me. But yes, I will still get you guys' inputs. So it's not, me just going on that's messed up to keep it PG. Mike. I know. And again, this is the same guy that likes disagreeing with me on a lot of things.
Mario says, "What's up?" Or he called somebody the loner. I'm not sure. Yeah, so go ahead. Yeah, go ahead and start, Jay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's all good.
We got about 11 minutes.
A couple waters real quick.
Yeah,
no. You go ahead.
Okay.
We got about 12.
My voice is getting dry. You want a water?
Sure.
I'm okay.
All right.
All right, but of course, tomorrow night, live on pay-per-view, of course, Ring of Honor and New Japan Pro Wrestling's War of the Worlds. I mean, since 2014, the relationship between New Japan Pro Wrestling and Ring of Honor has been established. It's in many ways helped, bring us a different alternative and a different something, new to the table. I mean, Ring of Honor's been around since 2002, but New Japan's got a 30-year, seniority due to the fact that they've been around since 1972. But the fact is they got, great talents from both promotions that we're going to see different matches for. They even have, much like, we got the Raw and SmackDown live event tours, like the SummerSlam Heatwave Tour, It's coming to the State Farm Arena in Hidalgo, something you might know a little about Mike.
I
But-
know about it. Yeah, I
Yeah.
might have floor seats to that event.
Yeah, possibly. It's something. But Ring of Honor and New Japan have that also here in the United States and in Canada, where not too long ago Kenny Omega was part of one of their War of the Worlds tour shows. But this one's on pay-per-view at the historic Hammerstein Ballroom, and anyone has wrestled in that arena, including, guys like Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles, Kevin Owens, Shinsuke Nakamura. I mean, heck, that's where Final Battle took place this past December, which is Ring of Honor's version of WrestleMania. But to get into it, of course, we got the Ring of Honor six-man tag team titles, a championship I'm sure you've been wanting to get into the WWE for quite some time. We got Bully Ray and the Briscoes against Hiroki Goto and Rapagni Vice for the Ring of Honor World Six-Man Tag Team titles. The Bully Ray and the Briscoes recently defeated the Kingdom for the championship, and of course, not too long ago, defeated the Gorillas of Destiny and Hangman Page at Supercard of Honor to retain the championship, but against Chaos, which originally was the premier group before Bullet Club, before Los Ingobernables that won. There was Chaos, and
Before the NWO?
no, not that
Before the Four Horsemen?
not that far.
Okay, well, I mean, you did say they were.
It was before Bullet Club, and I was making that very clear.
Too sweet, baby. That's too sweet.
Too sweet, guys.
But
got one second.
that's cool, man.
Here, pass me one. That's fine. Thanks.
But ultimately, that should be a tremendous matchup for the six-man tag team titles. And of course, one I'm sure you'd love to see, the Ring of Honor World Tag Team titles at stake. The Young Bucks representing the Bullet Club against Los Ingobernables de Japón members Tetsuya Naito, who's the IWGP Intercontinental Champion, IWGP Intercontinental Champion.
Say it how many times?
About five times.
5 times. IWGP,
We talked about this
IWGP.
last time.
Yeah, I know.
And Bushi, who's also Naito's partner for that. But pretty much a Bullet Club versus Los Ingobernables. You guys are familiar with Bullet Club, but are you guys familiar with Naito, and have you seen any of the video clips of his treatment of the championship belt that he currently possesses?
Mm-mm.
Well,
Explain to me.
Well, it's very rare that you see someone. I mean, one thing to drag the championship with you, but to be, throwing it up in the air and hitting it, letting the belt hit the canvas, or kicking the championship.
I know Tony would have a big problem with that.
Kicking the championship like a soccer ball from your entrance all the way to ringside. Very unconventional, but as Isaac said, hey, that's some very brilliant work from Naito. And hopefully you guys get to see the event.
I bet the guy gets a lot of heat from the fans and from the crowd, no?
Oh, yeah, he does. But there's some fans that still love Tetsuya Naito and his carefree, devil-may-care attitude as the leader of Los Ingobernables. And then, of course, we got the TV championship on the line, Marty Scurll against Matt Sydal, which should be another great match. Matt Sydal, you guys may remember as Evan Bourne,
Yes.
who had
Small guy, by the way.
who had a very outstanding match not too long ago on Impact Wrestling against Eddie Edwards, which, these days there's not a whole lot to promote with Impact, but that was a great matchup between the two and reminded me of, why we were fans of Evan Bourne in WWE and why I'm still a fan of Eddie Edwards. Even though he's with Impact now, I hope to see him one day get his big break in WWE, but that's another story for another time. But of course, the main event for the Ring of Honor World Championship, you got Christopher Daniels, the man who was with Ring of Honor from the day the company opened in 2002, who won the title at the anniversary show, defeating Adam Cole, defending against Cody, the American Nightmare, of course, and against Jay Lethal, who held the championship from June of 2015 when he beat Jay Briscoe to August of 2016 when he lost the title to Adam Cole. And, of course, you got Cody, who's on quite a hot streak himself. I mean, your guys' thoughts on that particular matchup, or any questions you may have regarding that match. Any questions you guys got regarding the pay-per-view, hey, I want to help pass this knowledge over to you guys, too.
Well, I feel like it was long overdue for Christopher Daniels winning the championship. I mean, he's been a 20-plus year veteran, am I correct?
Yep.
In the industry, and I feel that I thought he would win a TNA World Heavyweight Championship or Impact Wrestling Championship as well, but he didn't get the gold. Was he an X Division champion?
Multiple times, yeah.
He was multiple times X Division champion, but I feel that it's been long overdue that he hit the big one, the ROH Championship when he defeated Adam Cole. And I feel that him versus Cody would be a good championship run. I feel like Cody needs to get some opportunity. I want him to, to feel his dad's grace. I mean, winning a major championship. I know he was a former Intercontinental champion, but I like to see him win the main title.
And it doesn't come any more prestigious than the Ring of Honor World Championship. You look at the guys that are now either in the WWE or elsewhere, like Samoa Joe, Daniel Bryan, or Bryan Danielson at the time, Tyler Black, Seth Rollins today, Kevin Owens, or Kevin Steen as he was then known as, Nigel McGuinness, Jay Lethal, Davey Richards, men that have proudly sported that championship, and to be defended on such a grand stage where you have both New Japan and Ring of Honor's rosters on the same night. So, and then of course, after Ring of Honor New Japan's pay-per-view, Saturday night, fight night with UFC 211, we go from the ring to the octagon, and quickly just wanted to promote the big two championship main events. Joanna Jędrzejczyk defending the UFC Women's Strawweight title. She's the second woman to hold that title, the first being Carla Esparza. She'll be defending against Jessica Andrade, who is hungry for that title. And then we got the heavyweight slugfest. We got Junior Dos Santos, a former UFC World Heavyweight Champion, finally getting his next shot at the title against Stipe Miocic, who has held the title for now well over a year since defeating Fabricio Verdun for the championship. Ultimately, guys, when it comes to heavyweight fights, what do you look for? Do you look for a knockout? Do you see it going the distance? Do you want to see a submission?
I don't know. Like we've talked about this before. I haven't followed a lot of MMA and UFC, but if I'm watching a match, I don't want to see a quick match. Okay, I want to see a match that is intense, and I want it to drag on a little bit. Okay, I don't care to see someone tap out within 30 seconds. Okay, which is very impressive to the guy winning the match. But obviously, if you're paying, $60, $70 to watch a pay-per-view, it's going to be a little upsetting. Yeah. And this is why, I'm pretty sure lesson learned. Jay, this is why he goes to Buffalo's now, right? Yeah. Which that you don't have to pay to go to Buffalo.
There's no cover.
No cover. You just have to buy some wings maybe and enjoy yourself. Okay. But okay, so again, I want to see some strong holds. I want to see some nice contact. Okay, contact. I think is because I feel like it's becoming a boxing sport where people are just avoiding everything to not get hit. You know what I mean? But it's not boxing. We're not running around in circles like Mayweather. Okay, yeah. I want to see people throw punches. I want to see people get hit. Okay, I want it to be as physical as possible. And I'm hitting my hand to show emphasis on that. You're in the sport and you're making millions of dollars. You need to get hit. All right.
He wants to see a knockout.
I want to see a knockout.
But ultimately, it's going to be a great card. It's going to be a stacked lineup of mixed martial arts action Saturday night. But, I've been trying to get Mike to check out some UFC here and there, but he's like, there's not enough hours in the day, man.
It's true. We work long hours.
There is not enough hours in the days. And you know what? If I had cable and I was sitting at home at 3 a.m. and they were showing a rerun on Spike TV or something about like what's going on or
FS1, but yeah.
My question is, I want to know what's going on with Anderson Silva.
Anderson Silva wanted a middleweight interim championship fight. This was due to the fact that Michael Bisping was to defend the middleweight crown against the returning George St. Pierre, who for years dominated the welterweight division in the UFC. But because of the delays, it was supposed to happen in July, but GSP said, no, I need to push it to October. To eventually he said, you know what, I need it for November. It eventually got to where Dana White, the president of the UFC, said, we're not going to wait any longer. I'm not going to make the middleweight division wait. So this title fight's not happening. But Anderson Silva felt in the meantime, hey, if this is going to be what's happening before White made the decision, how about me and Yoel Romero in an interim, or Jacare Sosa in an interim title fight, and basically said, look, either I get this or I retire. Dana White called his bluff saying, sorry, this is not going to happen. And now because of that, Anderson Silva will not be competing at UFC 212, which is happening next month. Now, will Anderson Silva make good on his promise and ultimately retire? That's to be seen. The guy dominated the middleweight division from 2006 to 2013, well over 7 years as the middleweight champion. I hate to see the career end that way, and to be honest with you, I really wouldn't be interested in seeing him go to Bellator. I'd rather see him end his career the right way and having it done in the octagon in the UFC. But it's just one of those cases of wait and see. Now, as far as George St. Pierre, who I'm a huge fan of, he's the one guy that got me into mixed martial arts. Sorry, it wasn't Brock Lesnar. It was GSP. But he's the one that made me a fan of MMA. And as much as I'm a huge fan of his, ultimately I got to say Dana White made the decision. You cannot have your entire division wait on a championship fight when you got other guys that are fighting and getting victories to cement their spot as number one contender to the middleweight crown.
All right. Well, I guess, that just about wraps it up for Armbar today, everyone. Thank you for listening. We have to close out the show. We're about at the hour, so I want to thank you all for listening. Again, listen to us on 97.7 FM The City. You can follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/The Armbar Podcast. You can follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/UTPA_armbar. Okay. So there again, follow us on our social media channels. We'll be interactive with you guys as possible. And as always, thank you for listening. Any final comments before we go, guys?
Nothing I can think of, but also if you guys are, in the Austin area or going to Austin, hey, if you want to check out some great local wrestling, check out Sabotage Wrestling.
It's a female promotion, right?
A female, but they also have been some male competitors as well.
Okay, that's all right.
And as a matter of fact, the same day as NXT TakeOver Chicago, check out the Laredo Wrestling.
And one of our Valley-owned locals will be there. I
Yes.
think Kat Green was on the card.
I believe so, if I'm not mistaken.
And
And as well as Thunder Rosa, who you might know as a certain, Cobra of sorts in Lucha Underground. You
I
catch her?
remember that. Yeah. Okay.
She'll be competing on that show.
Also, for anybody that is going to be watching WWE will be coming down in Hidalgo July 9th. Tickets already go on sale tomorrow, pre-sale tickets. So I just want to let you know, guys, if you're interested in watching it, it's going to be in Hidalgo July 9th on Sunday. Is it going to be around 6 or 7?
7 p.m. And what brand is coming?
SmackDown.
Yeah, show.
We'll talk about that a little more next week. We got to wrap it up. So again, guys, hard work pays off. Dreams come true. Bad times don't last, but bad guys do.
If you're not down with Armbar, we got 2 words for you.
Texas barbecue. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you all for listening.
Stay classy.
Okay, so we are still live on Facebook.
All right.
page,
I know
so
we have to say that. I can't even read back there.
Also, shout outs to the
Okay, so
Marshall and the
Garcia.
Beautiful. They shared our page.
let me take that off here.
All right, what do we have so far? Okay, it's been interesting, but you gotta go, guys. Take care. Our matches, conversation, no gloves. Okay, some of my favorite matches: Ric Flair versus Sting. That's what Mario Garcia, Rodrigo. Both Steep and Junior have a chin. I really don't see it going 5 rounds. Jeremy Ramos knockout. Heather Humphries joined. Bring me a beer, Tony. All right, Mario. Seth was alone.